Hello and welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf back with Eric Sfiligoj, who's back from his fabulous Kalahari vacation. How'd it go, sir?
Yeah, it was good. Wet, wonderful. I know my son, who's 9 going on 10, had a wonderful time checking out all the new water slides and attractions they had at Kalahari. Myself, I spent a lot of time on the lazy river with Bloody Mary and a little time in the hot tub. So, if you need to know.
Occasionally watching.
Occasionally watching to make sure my son was still
dry.
okay.
He's still floating. Okay, that's good. Great. I'm glad that went well. Against the odds. So yeah, it's been rough. I mean, all across the Midwest we're hearing. I was talking to someone at Growmark yesterday saying that nothing was really happening in Illinois because of the weather and
been cold and snowy in places. Yeah,
and we'll get a warm up, and then it's going to be followed by a set of rainstorms next week. So I think a lot of places are still suffering through. Although he did say he was glad there wasn't any corn planted yet, because had there been, with less than in the mid-20s temperatures, would have been challenged.
Correct. I know they went through that last year because it got real warm in March and then cooled down and nothing happened in the field. So
yeah, so better off starting from scratch at this point. But so of course the big news is
Bayer-Monsanto. I know a few weeks ago we mentioned that the Department of Justice had basically said that they were stepping in and would object to the Bayer-Monsanto deal as it was being proposed, but the companies and the Department of Justice have apparently talked things through, and with Bayer and Monsanto now promising to divest a few more assets, which sound like will be a couple of soybean and cottonseed lines, Paul. It looks like Bayer-Monsanto will be a go as far as the U.S. is concerned, so look for this deal to be completed by the end of June, and probably come July 1st, possibly the Monsanto name will be in the historical annals and no longer be used as an active name. It'll just be Bayer.
That's hard to imagine.
I know. It's just like who will the environmentalists hate?
I don't know. Monsanto just rolled off the tongue. It was it equated with everything.
That's right. And Bayer makes all those useful aspirins and everything else that we use in the market.
I don't know.
That'll be interesting to watch.
So what else is going on? So
with one other thing to mention, speaking of July 1, we did find out that another name will be disappearing from ag retail, Crop Production Services, CPS. The biggest company in ag retail is going to be changing its name to Nutrien Ag Solutions come July 1st. And of course, Paul, that helps reflect the ownership of CPS, the Potash Corp and Agrion getting together to form Nutrien as a new company. Now they're going to have sort of a combined presence across the ag retail market as well.
Yeah. Well, and yet another sign change for all those retail locations out there.
And anybody out there, if you got CPS signs you're giving away, Paul has office space. Would like to get them up on the walls. So send them to Paul.
I like decorative history. I like those old, those old signs from the old gas stations and things like that. I think those are very cool. So yeah, if anyone has anything they would ship or tell me where to pick it up,
I'll take some pens. Pens are always good.
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Oh man.
So what do you got?
Oh well, I never come with much. I mean, I think people know by now that I kind of show up and you have all the news and I react mostly. But they're I see giving you your due. But I think it was interesting to see. We were talking about the tariffs and everything that's going on there. Where a lot of now we've got the backfill reaction to how practical is it that the tariffs would really be an issue for U.S. growers. And there's a lot of, in looking at the analysis, it would be difficult for Brazil to deliver on the soybean totals that they get, that China would get from the U.S. Yeah. And I think they're in the 70-75% range in terms of what they're getting from Brazil as it is. And the infrastructure challenges continue to make it difficult for Brazil to get the soybeans out of the country. So there's speculation that maybe the impact wouldn't be as severe, or maybe the I guess what China would impose against us wouldn't be as severe, just because it just couldn't be done. Those alternative sources aren't ready made, at least for the near term. So
we'll have to see. I know I wrote about that topic in my column in this week's e-newsletter, and we had a poll asking, how serious this China-U.S. trade war will actually end up being. So it'll be interesting to see the results. We can report on that next week in our video to see what our viewers, thought about this whole issue.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a bad thing if it does impact the supply. I mean, it's just a matter of whether, through maybe through negotiations now, maybe through the back channel discussions, that we won't have that kind of severe push that everyone's kind of worried about.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Anything else going on?
No, that's about it on our front.
Alrighty. Well, wanted to remind you we've got the Precision Ag Professional Accelerator Conference. Our deadline is April 26th for early registration, so you got a couple of weeks left for the best, the best pricing at this point. I'm actually talking to a lot of retailers about this, about the kind of the need for this, and we're getting a lot of interest and strong registration, and space is limited. So we encourage you to take a look at that. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, give me a call, and we can talk about it. And then where else are we going? We aren't going anywhere for a while, are we?
I was gonna say, no, it's a pretty light travel schedule now, as most people are getting ready to put in the planting season, getting into the fields. Probably I'm not going to be on the road again until mid-May, I suspect, and maybe you is the same. So.
Yeah, I got a quick trip at the end of the month to Washington D.C. Gonna stop by some associations, and also the Precision Ag Coalition is going to get together and have a meeting, and we're talking about possibly an event for regulators and legislators at the Beltway sometime in mid-June. So I'm kind of excited about the potential for that. Again, there's going to be some demo of some technology or technologies that these folks can take a look at and get an appreciation for what Ag is doing on the technology side. So. All right. Be interesting. Well, I guess that'll do it for this edition of Crop Life Retail Week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.